Hey, good morning. It's Tom Llewellyn for Congress and Tom Llewellyn for Civil. How are you guys doing this morning? Hey, we're going to change things up a little. Although we have a bunch of people look at the videos, it's not like it's necessary to be live. A few people are available at any specific time. So we're going to do it a little differently. We'll post when the videos are up for Civil Sunday. That'll give me a little freedom to do them during the week and post them later on YouTube. You can go to YouTube, or I'll have it posted on Civil as well, or it's Tom Llewellyn for Congress as well. So anyway, as we move along, we try things and have fun, and that's kind of the objective in politics. Something I'd like to change is, let's make it a little fun. Let's have a sense of humor every once in a while. So anyway, let me do one thing here. You always have to have a bottle of water for the host. I'm going to do a little water. So hey, two things today. Why? Let me hold on to that. Why Civil? If you want to be a candidate, why not run as a Republican or Democrat and go down the same old tire road we've been on? So let me give you a few reasons. So one, why become a candidate? We're looking for 434 more people to run for Congress around the United States. Our hopes are we'll get a handful or two prior to primary day, which would be wonderful. If we get more, then we know we've got a lot of traction, and that in our hearts, we're in your hearts because you maybe believe the same thing. And so that first thing is why be a candidate is I'm mad as hell and I'm not gonna take it anymore. If you happen to remember that from, I don't know if it was a skit or it was real, but somebody it was a video somewhere, but are you mad and you're just tired of taking it? I talked to so many people, especially over the last 4 or 5 years, maybe 6, 7 now that I think about it, that, just look at Washington and go, why are we doing this? I mean, this is armed warfare, you're armed with Twitter pistols or just mean-spiritedness or whatever, but, is this really moving the ball? They talk about, they try to blame each other for, well, it's your fault that people are harming one another, which we do, unfortunately. And when you look at it, politics is the angriness of the two echo chambers are hurting our culture and our society. When our leaders tee off on one another in just, full auto, right? Expletives or mean-spiritedness or name-calling on nonstop basis. And look, this is endemic in both parties. I think we're all tired and don't want to take it anymore. So if you're one of those people, then give us a ring, shoot us a note, join us. This is going to be a long haul. This is the first in a series of elections where you build consensus and place people in seats, unlike any party. No party in the 20th century. No, hold it. One had one seat, I think. The Progressives with a capital P. Every time you hear that, remember it's a capital P and it means socialism. Did one seat. I don't know how long that person lasted, right? But we need to build consensus inside the electorate that this thing is dorked up, and these two guys aren't going to fix themselves without a referee. And Civil's going to be that referee, not only in the sense of, no, we shouldn't be doing the name calling, and I don't know why these guys are doing it, but bringing to the table ideas that hopefully both parties can agree on so we can come together and collaborate instead of fight Twitter wars, right? Where we learn nothing and become stupider every day. Oh, I hate that word. More fatuous. How's that? Oh, that's a good word. More fatuous every day. So if you want to be a candidate and you're tired and you just don't want to do it anymore and you're saying, okay, I'll do this, great. Second, you have to have a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit. We're doing something nobody's done before. Literally nobody. And I'll go back a couple of steps. And I reached out to this gentleman, Jim Vandeweghe. He's a former founder and head of Politico. I think he now runs Axios. But 4 years ago, he said, man, this political market needs some disruption. Because it's a mess, it's a mess. And it's getting worse. And I agree with Jim. I sent him a note this week. Hopefully we can get together and chat a little, talk about what he's doing and he's thinking. But, I'm going to start building a collection of leaders across the United States that believe in this same thing. We got to do something, or these guys are, these are two dinosaurs walking us to the tar pits, and they're dragging us along with them. I don't want to do that. I hope you don't either. So why be a candidate? Is because you, like me, like many people, don't see this fixing itself. And if America's going to be truly great again, and we're doing pretty good, but the Republicans are out of ideas, and I don't know the Democrats have anything newer than 100 years ago, so they don't have many new ideas. You have to do something different, and that's what civil's about. So why be a candidate when you see all the pain, right? I've worked on a congressional campaign, so this is the way they run. They hire, a staff of people, because it takes a staff. They have fundraisers that cost an enormous amount of money to raise some money. They run around in circles, for the primary, trying to make sure that they're the final guy over the line so they can get to the general. It's a really expensive way to do business, and it's precisely the way it was done in the 20th century. Now, people are getting, through to the digital universe, and we're seeing a lot of it. But civil is going to be 100% electronic. I don't want you hiring a staff if you decide to run. There's no need for that. Well, you may have a need. You may want someone as a sidekick. I do, I know, and it helps. But at the end of the day, it's, the committee I worked on had 5, I think there's like 5 main leaders, and I think maybe 10 more semi-paid, part-time kind of people. But it's a lot of money. And man, you put on a fundraiser, and I'll guarantee you it's a big rubber chicken dinner where you charge $1,000, you're still spending a ton of money, as much as 50% sometimes, to make it happen, right? So we don't want to do rubber chicken. We might do hot dogs and a soda thing at a ballpark somewhere, but we're not going to do something expensive. But at the end of the day, we got to make it simple. So this electric campaign, just like you're seeing now, reaching out to people via Facebook, via YouTube, via email, via text, and building consensus, I'll get it out, from the bottom up. So third, how do you raise money, right? So number one, if you're really efficient, like a 21st century business, a really good business should be, right? Using digital tools to make yourself more efficient. The cost of the campaign should be a quarter, if not a tenth, of what a typical campaign will be. So here's the deal. So if you look at, a lot of congressional campaigns will expend in excess of $1 million if it's competitive. If it's not, it's, they may not spend anything, right? But at the end of the day, $750,000 usually looks like it could be a winner, especially if you had an idea. If your candidacy is about ideas, good things happen. If it's not, you tend to lose, even with money. So we don't need to raise as much. We figure in Arizona we need to raise about $100,000. And if you did that in the traditional way, it's hard because you have to go out and get commitments from people that give big money, because these are big money-driven campaigns. 70–80% of the money sometimes are from big donors, which comes with strings. You know how that works. Even though nobody says, hey, no strings, there's strings, right? So at the end of the day, it's very time-consuming. A former congressman that I knew said he literally felt like he spent 100% of his time fundraising. And that's terrible, because you're not doing the work of America. So here's our deal. If you work from the bottom up instead of from the top down, right? So if you're looking for a very tiny group of individuals that have money to give to you, instead, if you look across the voter electorate, if you go from the bottom up and try to solicit people, not for hundreds or thousands of dollars at a time, but tens, good things happen, right? So, our goal is to have a lot of just $10 voters. They'll do it just once, and we figure students are a very key aspect of what that will be, or young voters under 25. But we also know that there is a huge number of people that if you said, hey, could you give $10 a month for 10 months, it's just $100, not a big donation. Suddenly, if you have just 7,000 people out of, in our district, 750,000 people, you have $700,000. If you have just 1,000, you have $100, right? Or $100,000. That's kind of our goal. And if you look at it across the United States, you become a well-funded campaign because you're highly efficient. And that's what our government needs to be. Those are the rules we want to apply to our government, because right now we're spending $4.5 trillion and we're not doing it effectively or efficiently. We think $2.5 trillion of that could be reduced if it were focused on fixing the things that government says it would, like education and poverty as the number 1 and 2. We could cut $1 trillion to $1.5 trillion out of the federal budget simply because we're making better people with the programs, right? We're focusing on pursuit of happiness versus just transfer payments to people and hoping to God they do something good, right? So if you want to be a candidate, you know how to get a hold of us. Go to Tom for Congress, 4 is the number, .org. Just click on contact or donate. If you want to donate right away, I'll find you, right? Because that information does come across our contribution website, or database. So, hey, reach out. We're here to make everyone's lives better. Help us out. Become one of those candidates. Be the exemplar that changes America to a better place, to a much better place that can compete with folks like China, who has a dedicated 30-year plan to kick us to the curb. Let's get our own plan. Let's kick them back to the curb where they belong and become not just a really good country, and not just a country with a lot of great people, but a great nation with great people and great ideas in government and in commerce. Anyway, I'm Tom Llewellyn. I look forward to talking to you next week, and talk to you soon. Thanks.